All right, let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the American Bow Hunter, the official podcast of PSE. And I'm here in Texas with a native Texan, Mr. Tyler V.
That's it.
How do you say the last name again?
Vanderkolk.
Vanderkolk.
V is a lot easier.
Dude, V's way easier. So,
way easier.
Archery Country.
Yeah.
The owner of Archery Country.
That's it.
Dude, massive archery shop here in Austin, Texas, right?
Awesome. Yep.
So you're about 3 hours away from where we're at.
Yeah, 3 hours or so.
Dude, so I've seen a lot of your stuff on social and obviously from some of the heavy influence you've got,
man. We
man.
get some hitters coming through.
Dude, you guys like got celebrities that roll through that place.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
Like,
that wasn't by design, by the way. That was just kind of happened.
Does it feel like, do you ever feel like, dude, what's happening right now?
Daily. I wake up and I'm like, what's going on?
What is this?
Yeah. What is life? Yeah. It's weird, man.
Yeah. So your shop, how long have you owned it?
So, the cool story is, so I've owned it almost 10 years, man. The reality is I have been attached to it for 20 years. Long story short, it's been in Austin for 40 years.
Dude, so that place is established.
Yeah, it was super established. And it had a flurry of owners before. There was probably, I think there was 3 owners before my buddy bought it, maybe 4. But anyway, it was one of those deals. They had a pretty good following, but it kind of got the gun counter culture. Like people were like, yeah, they're kind of douchey in there, man.
Yep.
Don't, whatever.
Dude, there's a lot of shops like that.
Oh God, it's rampant in our industry, dude. It's bad.
Yeah,
but
pretty wild.
Yeah. Anyway, so a buddy of mine bought it in 2005. And when he did, it was one of those deals where he was kind of like, hey, you should like put a taxidermy shop in with me. And at the time I was doing taxidermy on the side for friends and just not doing it full-time gig. I was just doing it on the side out of my garage for buddies and stuff like that. Well, what happened was we got to a point where I was good enough to do it on that way to go ahead and get it out there. And what made it awesome was, so I put it in, and the family that had bought Archery Country was friends of mine, the Steiner family. In fact, Rocker Steiner won the world in bareback riding last night at the NFR.
Oh wow,
Vegas. Yeah,
Jesus.
He's the young kid. I think he's 21 now or something like that. But at the time, he was 2 years old.
Oh,
so I grew up. He grew up in the shop and all that stuff. Well, the Steiners bought it. I put the taxidermy shop in. And they were like, hey, man, we've already got hunters coming here. We'll run people to you. So, like, the first year of being a taxidermist, legit, I had no business doing taxidermy for the people that were sending me. They were like, hey, Nolan Ryan's going to be there in 30 minutes. He's got a deer he needs mounted. And I'm like, what? And they were like, hey, the governor of the state of Texas called. He's bringing a deer. Rick Perry's got a deer for you. And I'm like, what? So anyway, I had no business.
Dude, that sounds so stressful. That's a big deal for people, man.
Dude, it was. And what makes it worse is, straight up, this is so bad. I've seen those mounts like since I did them. And I want to be like, hey, man, can I remount that for you, dude? That's terrible, dude. I was the worst taxidermist in the world. I had no business being in business back then, dude.
Oh, man.
But anyway, it panned out. But anyway, I've been attached to it since 2005. So I put the taxidermy business in 2005. In 2016, they were ready to blaze out of Austin. They were done. It had grown too much. They had bought a ranch and moved. And anyway, they were like, in essence, it needed fresh blood. And they were like, we're not willing to do that. I'm not willing to put the time in and do all that stuff. So they were like, so someone's going to get a deal. They were like, if we hit the open market, it'll be this price. If not, they were like, we'd like to sell it to a guy like you. You could maybe do it and all that stuff. And that was what I did. I bought it in 2016. And I say I bought it. It was one of those deals where I basically, in essence, was like, dude, I don't know enough about retail. Like, I don't come from retail, and there's a whole lot of stuff. I started, like, researching it even minutely, and I was like, oh, no, I made
a mistake.
Yeah,
Can I back out of this?
Way over my head here, dude. This is terrible. So anyway, I ended up calling 2 buddies of mine that were, one was kind of a money guy, but he was also the mayor of a little town north of town. And the other one was just one of my best friends, still is one of my best friends, a guy named Brendan Hansen that was a swimmer, Olympic swimmer guy.
You're like the most well-connected dude I've ever met.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
Insane.
I don't really know how that happened either, but it's weird.
You could go anywhere or do anything you want with the connections that you have.
It is weird, man.
You need security. We need to get this guy security.
It's true, man. That's funny. No, it was cool. So I brought those guys in, and I was like, look, man, I'm not the brightest crayon in the box, but I'm like, but together we're pretty smart, right? We can sell some bows and arrows and figure this out. So that's how we did it, and they actually owned it until last year with me. They were my business partners for it. The deal worked where they were kind of the silent investor guys. They threw money at it, and they helped us get to where we were, but I was the boots on the ground guy. I was the one face front with influencers and anybody in the industry, any of the ordering we did, any of the stuff.
You ran the day-to-day operations of the store.
100% of it. So, and I still have the taxidermy business too. So I was running and managing both. And still trying to be a dad and a
dude.
Yeah.
It's a lot, right?
Tough, dude. Yeah.
That's wild, man, because I mean, what you came from and to where you are now is like we were talking a little bit before, and this is the first time I met you, but I've heard about you from mutual friends and stuff. And
sure.
I've obviously known about your shop because, it's been promoted like
it gets promoted.
The best way you could promote it, right? Because and we can talk about this, right? Your latest. So you have Joe Rogan and Evan Hafer coming on as business partners with Archery Country,
for sure.
which is insane, makes me jealous, man. Like it's going to be such a huge thing, man. You know, with those guys behind you, there's no one more influential than them.
For sure. And that's what's funny is, so when I got out of, or when I was trying to get out of being partners with my last partners, I remember telling my wife at some point, I'm like, and they were great partners. They're still good friends of mine. I wasn't willing to ruin the relationship. But at some point I was like, hey, I'll never do the partner thing again. It's a terrible idea. I'm like, if I ever bring this up, just shoot me in the face. I'm like, I'll never do the partner thing again. So then this happened, fast forward to Evan and Joe being like, hey, we want to buy in.
Dude.
And Cam, and like, I legitimately am like, hey,
but that doesn't even count. Like it's not even the same like realm, right? Like these dudes are a different caliber because so you are Cameron Haynes' shop, right? Joe Rogan shop, Evan Hafer, all of the names that are out there are in there. So clearly you have an incredible shop, and I wish I had time, dude, because I want to go to it.
Yeah,
you know,
for sure,
it's only 3 hours from where we're at, but it's a long drive for me
no,
back home to North Carolina.
It's kind of a zigzag weird. Yeah,
but I mean, because because I have a shop too, right? It's a much smaller scale than yours, but looking at what you're doing, and then we talked some more last night. How how well you take care of your staff, and the staff are the backbone of the company.
For sure.
And then now you've got this new opportunity coming up.
Yeah.
I mean.
No, it's wild.
Insane. So are you guys the biggest shop in Texas?
That's what's crazy. No, not even close, dude.
Really?
There's some bigger. Yeah. So here's what I'll say. We were probably the best marketed shop, I guess. And the reason for that is because of Joe Rogan. He's got a giant reach and all that stuff. Man, at the end of the day, I think what makes us cool is I've never, like I said, I don't come from anything. I'm a nobody. When I was building this thing, I was like, I'm never going to promote myself. I was like, we're going to promote the business. So I try and I make it a mental point to say, if we're doing something, I'm like, we as Archery Country are doing it. Cause there's nothing worse than saying, I'm doing this and all that. And my guys are like, well, dude, we're here boots on the ground doing this all day, every day to make you look good. So you can go on a podcast. And what are we? And so I've tried really hard to not be that guy. I owe it all to those guys because I could go out and promote as much as I want, but you go to a shop and some guy's like, I don't know how to tune that Matthews, so you're in a real bind here. Sorry, bud. And they go find another shop. So
right.
The reality is it's somebody, you got to work together. It's that stuff.
It's definitely a team effort, man.
For sure.
Because a shop, you can get a bad reputation very, very quick, right? You have one bad tech in there or one bad experience for somebody. And now with the way the internet is, it's like wildfire.
It's the worst. And also it takes, and this is what I realized early on. It is so hard. So the business was not well regarded when I first took it on, and it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good either. And in my mind, I was like, okay, I know there's people saying it sucks. This guy's no good. I hate, they just want to serve the rich people, whatever it was. I've heard all of it. Well, I was like, cool. Well, I'll go in there and change it. Well, there's no fast forward button on that. You literally have to put in the time. You literally 5 years later, you might be like this, have some guy walk in and be like, yeah, I heard from a good buddy of mine that it had changed ownership and all that. And I'm like, that was 6 years ago, dude. Like, you haven't come in for 6 years because you thought we were douchebags behind the counter. And he's like, yeah, for sure. Much. And I'm like, God, it took us 6 years to change that guy.
So is there a bunch of surrounding shops within?
There's not. There are some, but none.
Not on top of you?
Not on top of us, no. And that's what I like about PSE and Hoyt and Matthews and all these big brands. Protecting territories is pretty cool, man. In my opinion, because you're trying as best as you can with what you have in your area. So I realize I'm super fortunate because we're in Austin, Texas. So it's a tech hub. We're in Texas. People think it's the most liberal city in the world, but at the end of the day, you're still in Texas where everybody hunts and everybody has guns and all this stuff. And I often tell my guys that I'm like, dude, if you take the most blue-haired, super liberal, whatever you think walks through that door, I'm like, I guarantee you they're one generation removed from somebody who hunted their own food, who owned guns, who did all that stuff. I was like, it's not, you're in Texas. Like, you're not going to get away from that culture. That was it back in the day.
It's deep.
It's deep. Yeah. So anyway, like in building the business, we had kind of come to the point where we were like, dude, we just need to be nice, be cool, do the, try our best to customer service and all that stuff. And that's what we focused on. And I was like, and eventually it'll change. Well, I didn't know it would be 9 or 10 years. Like like I said,
later.
It was 16 years. This is 2025. And I'm like just seeing the fruits of that. I'm like, 9 years is a long time.
So I think that's a big difference. I mean, so mentality wise too, and it's hard and you don't realize it till you get there, right? It's delayed gratification, right? No doubt. Yeah. And you don't realize that because you can have all these grand ideas, right? Great ideas, but it takes so long to implement and then build that trust and the confidence in people and get them in the door.
For sure.
And I mean, unless you have a massive backing where you can market like crazily, which look at any of your archery shops, that's not a reality.
For sure. Yeah, no, you can't. And the other thing that was cool for us is like I had always said, I'm going to be the team guy. So I'm going to say, we're doing good. Yeah. We're trying to build something different and all that stuff. But also I was like, I'm never going to talk about myself in first person, third person, whatever it is. I was like, I don't want to be the guy on Instagram telling you, look at what I did. This is legit. I'm awesome. You should come to our shop because I'm the best at this stuff or whatever. And I was like, it looks so much more genuine and everything else to have, pick your poison, Cam Haines, Joe Rogan, Adam Greentree, Pedro, whoever it is, be like, no, those are my guys. Those are awesome guys. They do great work. I was like, we don't have to self-promote. If those guys are telling you, man, I use Archery Country, well, there's our
That's
advertising.
Huge,
I don't need to do that. I don't need to promote myself.
Yeah, so. You definitely have. It's different for you. That's amount of exposure is like you can't buy that.
You can't buy it. No,
you
can't.
And that's real. I mean, it's not like you're paying these dudes. It's like authentic. It's organic.
Yep.
You've created those relationships, nurtured those relationships, and those guys trust and believe in what you guys are doing. That says a lot about you. I mean, I know you don't want to say that, but a lot about you and then your process and your guys.
Yeah.
I mean, that's incredible, man.
No, it's something that, to your point a minute ago, it's something that I feel like can go away so fast. So it's not that I protect it at all costs, but I'm like, hey man, now more than ever, we have to keep our foot on the customer service pedal and on all the stuff because now people are expecting us. Now we've got a little bit of a target on our back because they're like, oh, these guys they're just riding off of Joe Rogan's fame. And I'm like, well, Joe is still Joe Rogan, dude. He's a buddy of mine, great dude. But he also hadn't thrown a bunch of money at this and helped me do anything. I'm like, this is all we're still working off the fruits of our labor of me and my team behind the counter, just trying to build something cool, trying to make it. So
dude, that's, I mean, it's so cool to hear that because When you look at like a lot of archery shops, is your shop have a lot of young blood in it?
Yeah, there's for sure a lot of young blood. And
I'm talking about behind the counter, like your techs, your staffing.
You have to. Yeah, because the old guys are.
It's so different, right? So those shops are almost obsolete.
They are obsolete, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, you can't. I remember the older guys that used to work for us, and they would judge a book by its cover. So if you pulled up in a little Honda Civic, they'd be like, hey, this one's y'all's. I'm not dealing with this jackwagon. He's trying to, whatever. And I'm like, you can't judge a book by its cover. We're in Austin. I'm like, I know guys that are millionaires, millionaires, and they look like a homeless person.
Dude, incognito, son.
Yeah, they drive a VW bus van, dude. I'm like, and that guy just sold Chewies for $80 million to a chick. I'm like, dude, that's true. Like, those guys come in, and you're like, dude, you can't judge that. I mean, we've had Mike Judge, the guy from King of the Hill and all the movies and stuff. He comes in and buys stuff. People don't have a clue who he is, man. Not a single clue. He'll just be hanging out at the counter, and you're like, this is this guy's won everything you can win for movies and TV and all of this stuff. And he's just in there,
just a dude.
Just wanting to get into recurves because he's had enough fun with the compound. He's like, I want more of a challenge. So you just have to treat everybody right and all that stuff. And that's the one thing I harp on everybody, because it's real easy to be like, to see the car pull up and be like, dude, this guy's going to wear me out for 30 minutes. And I'm like, yeah, so put your smile on and be like, what's up, dude?
Yeah, I think it's so important to build that culture within your company, and they see it from the top down, right? Like, it starts at the top. And if you can't be that way and act that way, I mean, they're not going to.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Leadership is critical, especially like as a small business.
For sure.
I don't even know that you're probably not a small business anymore.
No, I mean, I still consider us a small business, but I mean, dude, you're right. I mean, if the leadership isn't there, and it goes for all fronts. I mean, I'm Absolutely. Like, if I'm in a bad mood and I come in and I'm like, man, dude, I don't feel like doing this today, then the guys, it's real easy to spread that. So,
dude, some days are tough.
Some days are tough, dude. And I mean, there's days, it's like any entrepreneur, man. Yep. You start something, you have these grandiose dreams, then about your third day of making $1,000 a day and paying all this staff, you're like, dude, I could be working for my buddy's company right now, making $150,000 a year and not doing jack, dude.
I don't know. I think that's a real thought more often than not than anybody that starts or builds anything, right? Because I look at our shop and I told like my wife and, family, I'm like, maybe I should just go get a government job.
Yeah, no doubt, dude.
When do you win?
So when do we have this payoff that we're all thinking we're going to get? Yeah.
Never?
Yeah. No, that's for sure, dude. No.
It's a struggle. But dude, I don't think there's anything more rewarding though.
Yeah.
Like, it's gotta be such a good feeling whenever you go home to look at what you've done.
Yeah.
And it's, you don't do it every day, right? But where you reflect back and you're like, man, look how far this thing has come with the team that we've assembled.
No, for sure. Yeah. And that's that is the fun part of it, because you see real progress. So I know what it came from. I know what it was doing before. And now I'm seeing what we're doing. And I'm like, I'm complaining, but 10 years ago, we didn't even have, like, we couldn't afford the electricity bill. Right. So I'm like, so stop with the complaining. We're fine. We're doing good. It's weird, man. And being an entrepreneur, I love those lists when you see them online, and it's like a timeline of your day, and it's like at 7 a.m. you're like, let's go crush this day, and then by 8 you're like, oh no, this is bad.
Help
and then
me.
At 9 a.m. you're like, all right, well, let's just sign that contract. That's good. We're doing good. By 10 you're like, oh no, we're back in the crapper.
Oh boy,
we're done. But
somebody comes rescue me.
It's that, dude. I mean, it's
ebbs and flows, man.
Yeah, you just take it and run.
That's it. So are you guys, with your shop, with where you're located at, are you guys open 7 days a week?
We're not. 5 days a week.
5 days a week.
Yeah, I did. So I left it like it was, because when I bought the business, it was closed Sundays and Mondays.
Okay.
And the reality was, I had talked to the guy that implemented that years ago, and he was like, I just wanted my guys to have a 2-day weekend, and they appreciate it. I tried to change that a little bit early on, and then it just gets too weird, because now you're doing shifts. You're like, okay, well, you guys come in this time, you guys come in this time, and I'm trying to get everybody 40 hours, and I'm trying to shuffle. And then you just come to the realization that people just get used to it. It's like bike shops. Bike shops aren't open on Mondays or something
Right.
and Sundays. So you're like, we adopted that thing. And I'm like, people adapt.
Dude.
It's not like on a Sunday, they're like, well, screw it. Archery Country's not open. I'm driving to Houston, West Houston Archery to buy my bow.
I think that's a really good point. Cause for example, like we were open 7 days a week for 20 years.
That's tough, dude.
Right. 20 years.
Tough,
we were open 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where it was just like staffing's hard enough in archery, right?
It is.
Finding good tech, especially
No
when you're
doubt,
not an
dude.
archery heavy city.
No doubt.
Like
dude.
finding and building techs up
Yeah.
is like a struggle, just
Dude.
staffing alone. And then, try to get everybody in. And so we went back and we finally closed on Sundays. It's been like the best move I've ever made.
for sure.
The staff is like, this is way better.
Yeah. No, dude, no doubt. And there's little stuff that I keep telling people that I think other shops should implement. Like now, and you know this, you can go to any store in the world and they're going to flip a little thing around and be like, hey, you want to do 10, 15, or 20% tips and stuff like that. So with my guys, I implemented that, but I was like, but here's the deal. I was like, I don't want to see anybody doing this with like broadheads. So if you're selling a guy some broadheads, I don't want you to be like, hey, you're going to give me 15% more.
So when they provide a service,
So when we provide a
that is
service,
smart.
we actually do it, and dude, it crushes. I haven't. You don't have to really fight for more pay and stuff like that because they're dependent on these tips and stuff like that. So my guys crush because if a guy comes in and fully sets up a rig, and you spend an hour and a half with him getting his form right, and then getting him dialed in, hitting bullseyes before he leaves, he's on a high. He's
dude, that is really that's such a good incentive. I think that's going to increase your customer experience because they're going to be more in tune with who they're working with, and then they'll get rewarded because dude, a lot of your archery customers want to tip their tech anyways.
Sure. Yeah.
That makes it that much simpler.
Sure. Dude, we did it probably 2 years ago.
That is smart, dude.
And it has been a game changer. Some of my guys are making $15,000 to $20,000 more a year.
That is crazy.
Every paycheck, they're getting an extra $500 or something.
So, what point of sale system do you use?
Right now, we're using Shopify.
You use that as your point of sale. Do you sell knives?
I don't. I do. Well, that's a lie. I sell Montana Knife Company knives when I have them, but we'll get small batch, like 50 of them at a time.
Do you run that through Shopify processor? No issues?
Yeah. No.
Oh, for some reason I thought because we just moved to Shopify. Best thing ever.
Yeah,
right,
Shopify's great.
Our point of sale system is still different, but Shopify.
What are y'all using? Are you using like
Counterpoint?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We used one called Hub Tiger.
How was that?
It's rough, dude.
Dude, but changing point of sale systems is a nightmare.
Oh, dude,
bro,
I've done it 3 times since I've owned the business.
Worst thing in the world.
It is a absolute nightmare.
Especially as your inventory gets bigger and bigger, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, and we maintain at any given point we're $500,000 to $600,000 worth of inventory in the shop.
So yeah, we're about 4 to 5.
Yeah, and it's brutal, dude. You can't
So bad.
Yeah, and at some point you're like, I know what the accountant's saying, but I'm like, stop counting field tips, dude. No one cares. I'm like, don't do that. Or like veins. I'm like, dude, we're not we buy 5,000 at a time with our little AC logo on.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, look at that and be like, well, that's about half. So that's 2,500 veins. So put that down. We're not hand counting.
Oh my God. The inventory on one.
It's a nightmare, dude. And my accountant wants they're to the T. So they're like, we don't want to pay more taxes. And I'm like, look, man, if I'm paying on a 23-cent freaking,
It's fine.
yeah, I'm like, I'll eat that.
Yeah.
I'll take that.
I'll personally deal with this. It's all right.
But yeah, it's tough. And it's also, it's hard because so archery, as you know, it's a niche of a niche. It's a small industry. So there's nothing like there's bike counter like point of sales. There's grocery store point, there's everything. Well, there's not an archery store one. So you're adopting something that's
from
close.
the food industry or something like that.
You're adopting something that's close, and then you're turning it into that. We adopted one that was like for it was like for a car service, like for an automotive shop, but it worked because we have not necessarily POs, but we have like work orders and stuff like that. So I'm like, hey, we need to order strings for these guys, and they won't be in for 2 weeks from gas or whatever it is. So we're like, okay, cool. We gotta.
It's all logged in the system?
It's logged in a system, and it'll come back and be like, hey, it'll remind you every day until you exit out and say we've sold that. So it lets us go from that to back to Shopify and be like, okay, cool, we got this.
Dude, that's pretty legit because that eliminates the manual effort of writing it down and losing it.
It's brutal. Yeah. And I'm the Post-it note king, dude. If
Right.
you go in,
I don't know. Dude, I don't know, man.
Dude, you go in my office and you were like, what do you just make notes all day and just stick them everywhere? And I'm like, yeah, at this point, I don't know
exactly what is what, though.
Yeah, dude. No, I do too. I know exactly where they all are.
Yep.
I'm like, oh, I got a meeting on Thursday. That's this Post-it note down here. Sweet.
It's under the desk.
That's brutal, dude.
Dude, that's funny. I operate almost the same way.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. But anyway, it's I don't know. It's kind of one of those deals where I don't know that there's anything that fits anything perfect. Yep. Even if you have the best software that's built for your business, you're still going to adapt, and there's going to be stuff that doesn't work perfect. So my point to that is like I think you just you figure out what works the best for you and your team, and you make it work.
Yeah.
And you figure it out.
You know, that's funny. That's kind of similar to like actually buying a bow, right? Like it's got to be set up. It's got to be configured to the individual. Sure. So whenever someone comes into you guys to buy a bow, right? Let's say they're new, maybe they're upgrading bows.
Yeah.
Is it a full like workup with each customer?
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah. So when we do it, I try and adapt. Like we adopted we will set them all up for you, and you need to make an informed decision.
So that's your approach. Dude,
Yep. The problem with that is, you know this probably, but like I have some guys that'll walk in and they'll be like, show me that arc. I need the new arc. And I'm like, cool, man. Well, the new Hoyts are cool. The new PSE is cool. You want to shoot any of these other ones? And they're like, I kind of do. But they were like, but also I'm going to get drugged behind the truck at my deer lease if I show up with anything but a Matthews. So show me the Matthews. And I'm like, yeah, right on. I'll sell you the Matthews.
Dude, so one thing, like I'm big on like I think it's important that the customer gets that full experience, right? Because when I came into archery and I got my first bow, it was terrible, right? Wasn't set up, wasn't tuned. Sure. I didn't know anything about that.
Yeah.
So I think as a shop, it's important to educate, right?
No doubt.
And then, you know, put the different bows in their hands because there's so many great products out there. I think a lot of people, they get locked in that tunnel vision and they neglect other options that might be a better fit for them.
No doubt. It's weird too. I'll add this to what you just said. Influence is a crazy thing to me because I have people that are so sold by whatever an influencer says. And I want to be like, well, hey, dude, I know what you're saying and I know what you're doing. Totally cool. And it's a good product. But he's paid to tell you that. He's paid to tell you that that's the best bow. And I'm like, so don't take a guy that's being paid from someone word on that stuff. And 9 times out of 10, it doesn't matter. They're like, well, that's my guy. I follow him. I've followed him for 10 years. That's who I follow. And this is what he shoots. So that's what I want.
So you see that massively with where you're at?
Oh, dude, for sure. I mean, I have people that walk in that have never shot a bow. Dude, I had this happen 2 weeks ago. Dude, this guy was about 5'8" and about 140 pounds. And looked like he's never worked out a day in his life.
80-pound bow.
Yeah, 80
Yes,
pound
sir.
Hoyt. He's like, let's get that 80-pound
Dude, he watched one of my videos.
And
That's
fine. I'm like, yeah, man. So you follow Cam Haynes. And he's like, yeah, how'd you know? And I'm like, yeah, word on. Dude, right on. Well, I'm like, well, let's put it at 60 just to try. Well, he couldn't draw that back. And so we're like, all right, well, let's move it down to 45 maybe and see if we can get you drawing this thing. And he left with a mission switch because we're like, dude, I can't get you in anything else. You're shooting 40 pounds. Like, this is...
Dude, hey, I like his ambition, man.
Yeah, it's something to work for. That's right. But, yeah, no, it's crazy how influence works because I've never operated like that. And I'm not trying to sound like I'm something cool. I've just never I've never seen anything and been like, oh, well, I'm going to do that because he does that. Dude, that guy's legit.
You know, we're talking about that. Was it me and you were talking about it? Like the influence like Joe Rogan has, right?
Sure.
Dude's got tattoos of his face on him.
Oh, like hundreds of people have tattoos of his face.
Could you imagine? Like that's crazy to me.
It's wild, dude. Yeah.
They're about to have you after this podcast. Your face is about to be tattooed on somebody.
Right there.
Check it out, buddy. That's crazy though.
Dude.
Influence that these people have out there and the power they have.
No doubt. Yeah. And it's also, it's weird to see how they wield that power because sometimes they use it for good and sometimes it's not so good. Because I've seen influencers that are like, yeah, I don't like that product. That product sucks, but they pay me. So I'll promote it for a little while. And you're like, what? You're like, that's crazy
genuine,
talk, dude.
right
Like,
there,
yeah,
buddy.
you're like, that's terrible, dude. And even if you're gonna say stuff, or if you're gonna think stuff like that, I'm like, at least pretend, dude. Like, don't like lead us all on to still believe that you really are a big fan of this or whatever. I'm like, it's such a bad look.
It's crazy how bought and paid for people become as they gain more influence and power within a specific niche or industry.
Yep, no doubt.
That's wild, man.
It's wild,
dude. It's got to be like, with just the amount of people that come through your shop and the level of celebrities, that the things that you see have got to be wild, man.
It's wild. Yeah. We had it Friday. Before I got here, Adam Greentree was hanging out with Brendan Schaub, UFC dude and all that. And he's like, hey, I want to bring him in and get him set up in a PSE. And I'm like, yeah, right on, dude. We're here. Come on, man. And so he brings him in, and Brendan is super cool. And Brendan doesn't know, can I draw this? But I mean, he's strong as an ox, so he's not going to say, no, I can't draw.
He's a big human, isn't he?
He's a big dude.
Yeah.
And he will jack your face. Like, he's a fighter. I mean, it's one of those deals. It's like he's a pro athlete. So like
1%,
people talk trash on him and all that stuff, but I'm like, still, this guy would pretzel you up and beat your,
without even thinking about it.
Yeah, dude, you're thinking he's out of the sport now and he's nothing. And I'm like, well, he's still there. Anyway, my point to that is like, there's a nervousness that comes with walking in. You're anxious because you're like, I don't know if I can draw this. I don't know that I can hit a bullseye. What if I accidentally send one into the ceiling because I'm sky drawing because I can't draw? Like, there's got to be 100 things moving through your head. And it's our job to put you at ease. So it's our job to be like, hey, dude, look, man, we're going to start you at like 55 pounds, dude. It's going to feel like a toy. It's cool. I just need you to focus on form right now. All I want to see is your nose touching that string, and I want to see this knuckle right here. That's all I want to see. I just want to set you up with good habits right out of the chute. We're going to start there, and then we'll bump up. We can bump up to 90, 80 pounds if you want.
Yeah.
We can do what you want. But for now, this is what we're going to do. It puts them at ease because they don't feel the pressure of, let's go get you in a room. Another funny thing that we did that was cool was the old owner had an office in the back, and I basically was like, I don't need a big office. Like, I don't need a big office where I sit in there and feel like I'm on Wall Street or something. I'm like, I just need a little desk and a spot to return some emails and place some orders and stuff like that. And there was 2 offices. So I turned the back office into a tuning room. And when I turned it into a tuning room, when we let guys shoot bows, we take them back to that room and we let them shoot bows, and it's a game changer,
dude.
Because you're not in front of other people. The range isn't standing there waiting for you to take your shot, and all.
That's the worst feeling in the world, because that's how it was when I got into it, right? So we did the same approach. We created what's called our tuning room that has a door on it that we can close. For sure. Because I noticed a big thing with. We're right outside of Camp Lejeune, so all of our dudes are Marines, right? Sure. But some of them come in and they're a little, I want to get into this, but I don't want to look dumb.
You don't know.
I don't want to look dumb. That's everyone's biggest fear, right? Looking dumb, which it's part of it. Everyone, you got to start somewhere.
Everybody does.
But, and then the other thing was like women and children, right? Nervous around people. So we did the same thing. We closed it off so that we can have one tech go back there one-on-one, and it's private. So they don't. That's what we do. Yeah, it's so smart, man, because whenever the person is like anxious or nervous about it, and they almost feel rushed, it's like they want to just get out.
For sure.
And then they miss out on everything.
No, for sure. Yeah, and you can ruin people. You can run them off. Or if the range is busy on a Saturday and there's 15 people standing there waiting for you to take your last arrow shot, and you're just like, well, let's just go pull arrows because I don't want to shoot in front of, like, everyone's looking at me now. I'm nervous. I'm weird. So that was a game changer too. When we did that helped a lot, because guys were just like, dude, it's so nice going back in there where I just, first 10 shots, I just got some stuff under my belt and I didn't feel all crazy and weird.
And I think too, it builds that relationship a little bit tighter. They don't feel like they're a number because you have one-on-one service. And it allows them to tune in a little bit more to what you're saying versus all the surrounding noise. And then you start those fundamentals and it's so much faster.
No doubt. Yeah. And it helps, it puts their mind at ease too, because when you're just one-on-one with a guy and he really truly is like, hey dude, don't worry about this. This is and we always started out by saying, like, look, dude, I got guys that are bodybuilders that can't draw 70 pounds. I've also got a guy that's 5'8" and looks like the puniest dude in the world, and he draws 90 every day. So
dude, we have like an 80-year-old guy. So he's a huge Cam Haynes fan.
Yeah.
He's an old little man.
Yeah.
And he came into our shop one day and he's like, hey, I want to shoot that 80 pound. It was some turbo that we had. It's been a few years back. Dude. I'm like,
yeah,
sir, are you
tough,
sure
dude.
you want to do this? He insisted.
Yeah.
He goes in, dude, he rips the limbs off this thing.
Yeah.
Dude, I was like, and then I started talking to him a little bit more. He was the first time he's ever been in our shop, and he's a David Goggins fan. He's a Cam Haynes.
For sure.
Dude, he's like 80 something and he runs 3 to 6 miles a day.
That's insane.
And just gets after it. And all his stuff is Cam Haynes stuff, of course.
For sure.
Right?
For sure. Yeah,
Release, bow.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, but I mean, it was just surprising, man. I mean, you just never know.
You never know. Yeah. And like I said, it's wild when you see that because, dude, you have some guys that you're like, there is no way, and they rip it back.
Just it's nothing.
Like I said, I was telling the guys behind the counter, I was like, well, when Schaub comes in, I'm like, dude, he can bench, like, that guy's way stronger than I'll ever be. I'm like, he's a stud.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but this is also bows and arrows, man, and a totally different thing. And
ruin his shoulder.
Yeah, dude, just wreck himself. I've seen it, dude.
Me too.
Dude, and not only that, like, I've seen guys set it up to where it's too long and then it just rakes their arm and you're like, dude, that guy's never coming back. Yeah. You're putting frozen peas on his arm and you're like, that guy's done, dude. He's a rifle hunter for life.
Yeah.
Dude. So I'm like, dude, we gotta pay attention. So it is wild. But man, at the end of the day, dude, it's our job as archery shop owners just to provide the best service we can, which is having the stuff that they want and all that. But also, like, you gotta take them where they're at. So we take people that, maybe they've shot forever, but we're like, hey man, if you tweak this, that happened to me actually. I've been shooting for years, dude, years, 15 years at this point, maybe 20 years. And Dudley, the first time Dudley came to the shop, we're shooting on the range and he goes, hey dude, I bet you I'd put money on this. If you shortened your draw length by a ½ inch, he's like, I bet you'd shoot better. And in my mind at the time, I was like, well, yeah, dude. I mean, you're going to come into my house. You're in my house telling me what I should do. I'm like, screw off, dude. I own this place or whatever. So I shortened it. And sure enough, I don't know what it did to me, but I shot better. I definitely shot better. And I don't know if I wasn't. He was like, you're not overextended. He was like, but with your build and whatever, he was just like, I would shorten it a ½ inch. And he was like, I bet you money you would see improvement and all that stuff. And I, in a fleeting moment of whatever guy, I'll still try it anyway. Like, I was like, wow. And now I'm at 30.5. I'm like, I stay at 30.5. I was 31 forever. I shot 31-inch draw bows for 20 years.
Interesting.
But it made me a better shot. And I don't know if it's something about a little bit of that bend in that arm. It just helped me.
Clearly he knows his stuff. He's been around for a minute.
Yeah. He's been around. So, but yeah, it's one of those deals. Sometimes little stuff like that can help you, and whatever, man, take it or leave it. But if you'll listen to it,
that is one thing in archery. Dudes who do something for a long, they're stuck with. Like, dude, it's hard to get people to expand their horizon on certain things because they're so locked. Whether it's a product, it's a technique thing.
Yeah, dude, I could show you some of the most brutal form you've ever seen in your life on my range. Dude, we had a guy that when he drew his bow, he had an old injury from like Vietnam or something like that. This is an old guy, but he would draw with his bow facing down, and he would like rip up like he was pull starting a lawnmower, and then he'd bring his arm up. And I, like, the first time I saw it, I'm like, hey dude, hold on, don't do that, dude. If you accidentally release it down, dude, everybody on this line is in a bind, dude. I'm like, what are you doing? And he's like, yeah, I've been doing this since before you were born. And I'm like, well, cool, but you're still a flight risk on my range here, dude. Yeah, I don't need the insurance claim. But anyway, he did that all the time. He would go out back and shoot, and he would literally like hold it down. And he was like, I can't. He's like, the way my shoulder is, and the way I've had these couple surgeries, they're like, I got blown up years ago, and this is what I have to do. And I'm like, that's insane, dude. Like, no, if you saw him shoot, you'd be like, what is this? Is this guy's day one, dude? Like, what are you doing? And this guy murks deer, dude. He's a killer, dude. Yeah,
bro. So one thing I noticed, like your killers, like your bow hunters, dude,
yeah, it doesn't matter. They might be way past their head back here.
It doesn't. Like, it's not the bow. It ain't the prod. You could give them anything,
for sure.
And these dudes will get after it and get it done,
for sure.
man.
Yeah, if they're a hunter, they're
a hunter, dude.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is so funny to see because archery is so big on like the latest products, right?
For
the
sure.
new bows, which is fun, dude. Like we're in that industry of selling stuff, dude. And I love tinkering and messing with stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
You get your guys that like their focus is none of that. It's just to go out and get after animals. They're like, it doesn't matter to me.
Yeah,
I'm shooting a Oneida from like back in the day.
No, for
Has it ever been tuned? No.
Yeah, and that's what I tell people like about little stuff like that. Like they'll be worried about speed and stuff like that, and I'll be like, well, hey, look, as much as we're all worried about speed, I'm like, there's a dude over there that shoots a recurve that's half the speed of what we're doing, and that guy kills everything under the sun. So don't get too caught up in speed because that guy's murking stuff with that. But yeah, I mean, there's so many ways to skin a cat, and there's so many people that are so set, and that's the one thing that sucks about this industry. There's a whole lot of macho, like, I know better than you, and I've been doing this and all that stuff. And you're like, look, dude, we're all on this journey just trying to figure out how to do this stuff cool. Like, you're not better than any of us, dude. We're all just trying our best with what we got.
There's so many ways to do this, man. It's not the only way, I can assure you.
Promise you.
We've seen it all.
Yeah, dude. No doubt, dude. So
yeah, man, that's definitely one of the it's like the culture of archery.
It is, dude. It's brutal, dude. And we get, like I said, it's bad in the old timers. Anymore, you know, the younger guys aren't there yet, but it feels like it's coming, and you're like, look, dude, just be cool. Everybody's trying to be cool.
You know where it's dangerous at is social media.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, you'll get hammered. Like,
everybody's an expert.
Dude, everybody knows better.
But here's what I'll tell you on that is no matter the hunter, I know all the big names, dude. I don't know all of them, but I know most of the big names, and I can tell you with a surety that they have missed, they have hit animals and not recovered them and all that stuff. Well, you don't see any of that stuff.
Right.
You see them coming back with a pack out and a crew of dudes high-fiving and all that stuff. And social media has led us all to believe this guy's just a stud in the mountains and he doesn't screw up. Well, they do. They do. You're just not seeing it. And it's the same for me. I'm not talking trash because I did that this weekend, dude. Straight up.
You know, man, you know what's funny about that? Like, you come here yesterday, right? Would you get here yesterday or the night before?
I got here Friday night, but after, like, y'all had already gone out. I got here at like 4:30.
Yeah, so you got here late Friday night. You go out Saturday morning, get an epic buck that comes in.
Dude, epic.
Epic
and
buck.
I straight whiff, dude. Just right under him at 20 yards, dude.
Well, and to that, you're with a camera guy.
Oh.
You've never shot with a camera guy, right?
No.
So no pressure.
Yeah,
everything's recorded.
No, for sure. And this is the biggest buck of my lifetime. So this thing's walking across the field, and he's like, "Hey, there's your buck." And I'm like, "What,
dude? That's a monster."
I'm like, "Hold on, dude. That's not what." And he's like, "Yeah, that's the one we're gonna shoot." And then you see him like adjusting his camera, and I'm like, "Oh no, this is happening." So I'm like,
I really got to do
trying
this.
to control my breathing, and I'm like, "This is
You're in the
buck of yeah, that's me, dude." But then what was crazy was like, I tried to hold it together, and I can tell you what happened, dude. I know exactly what happened. I got back to full draw, and all I could think about was like, don't screw this up because you're on camera and all that stuff. Well, like, I was not in my same
dude, you let it, because the mental game got to you.
Yeah, dude, the mental game got to me because it came in, and I legitimately was like, I might not ever get this opportunity again. So I'm basically like, okay, well, this is my one shot. Like, this is it. And I engaged my trigger, and I'm like coming up. We were talking about this. I come up on stuff. I've never, like, if I go down, it's a drive-by, dude. I just don't even, it's like one solid movement. I'm like, all right, I draw up here, and then just hit it. So anyway, I in essence, I got to like the pocket on his armpit, and I was I stopped there for 1 second, and then I was like, all right, let's breathe and I engaged the trigger, and I just shot right under him. I mean, I hit exactly where I was aiming. I was like, it sent right under him. And I said it. I was like, oh, dude, I just shot underneath him, dude. And he's like, well, get another arrow, get another. And then he's freaked, like, not meaning to freak me out, but I'm like, oh, God, where's my quiver?
Stuff going everywhere.
It's like a Three Stooge act. I'm like, oh,
I fell out of the blind.
yeah, dude.
But then you come back and you have redemption that evening.
Yeah, it's wild, dude. Because we had other deer come in, and he was like, hey, you can shoot that one, too. And it was a stud. But by now, I've changed my MO. I'm like, I'm not going to rush again. I don't really care about this guy sitting beside me because I'm like, if I miss or if I gut punch this thing, well, that's bad too. So I'm like, so pretend like he's not there. I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to let anybody be like, he's broadside. This is your chance. I was going to be like, if I got to watch him for a minute to settle my stuff down, then that's what we're going to do. So, yeah, other ones came in. I passed. We went out last evening, and it was different. Because I was like, all right, I watched him for a couple minutes. I was like, all right, well, I'm calmed down now. Now I'm ready to make this shot. Let's hammer this.
Killer shot, too?
Dude, I hard shot him, dude.
How far was he?
24 yards.
Dude, that's like
money, dude.
Can't ask for anything better.
No, it was super easy. And it's one of those deals where when you're in the moment, you're not like, I had ranged him at 26 yards, and he had come a couple steps closer, and I'm like, I don't need to overthink this, dude. I'm like, my 20-yard pin is going to dump this thing. So I'm like, I don't need to sit here and adjust to 24 and make it. I'm like, put the 20-yard pin on him. If he ducks a little bit, he's going to duck into it. And if not, I'm going to hit him a little lower, which is where his heart is.
Yep.
And that's what I did.
It's a win-win.
But it was one of those deals where I was like, you can overthink stuff. And in my head, I was like, I can't let any of this other stuff. I just have to hunt like I'm by myself and think about it. Am I pulling my...
No, you're good.
I'm all good?
No, yeah, you're good, dude.
But yeah, anyway, it was that. So I legitimately was like, man, I need to just stay focused here. Like, do what you know you need to do. I've shot plenty of animals before. Like,
yeah, and you also worked with Joel Turner.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you know...
No, I've worked with Dudley. I've worked with Joel Turner.
Oh, man.
I've anybody who's somebody in that space, I've worked with.
That's awesome.
Like one-on-one, not just like I went to a workshop and there was 30 of us trying to learn this in some guy's backyard. I'm like, dude, I was one-on-one in my archery range, and Joel Turner's like, do this, do this. So, dude. It's pretty wild, but it's cool. And like I said, I feel super fortunate to have everything that I have and where we've been and what we've done, because it's still kind of a pinch me.
Isn't it crazy, man? Where it brings you. I mean, you're in Texas on a ranch, and you shot a stud.
Yeah, dude.
Monster.
Yeah, no, and it's crazy. And also, like, so I got the Mach 33 probably a month ago or so.
Yeah.
And I've been setting it up and shooting it some and all that stuff. And I'm like, dude, I really like this bow. I like the new cams and stuff like that. And you know this, being a shop owner, I'm like, as weird as it sounds, like I've had the new Hoyt, I've had the new Matthew. I kind of can get any of them, but I'm also like, I sell all of them. So I'm like, it's hard. You're not going to pin me down to like a brand that I have to shoot,
right,
or anything like that. As much as each brand would want you to be that way, I'm like, we sell them all. I want to service them all, and I want to be able to talk intelligently about all of them. I don't want to just shoot one and stuff like that. So, man, the PSE was legit. And not that I was skeptical of it, but I haven't shot a lot of them in the past other than just putting a couple through them and being like, wow, that's nice, but it's not bad. I love the EC2 cam.
EC2 cam was a banger, man.
Yeah, that changed the game for me, because to me they were rough, and then that came out, and I'm like, oh, wow, dude, this isn't rough. This is smoother drawing than all the rest.
So how do you compare the FDS to the EC2 on the Mach 33?
To me, it's super similar.
Dude,
I can't tell a difference. Like, I know
on paper the bell curve, I get it, but
sure.
Until you actually shoot it, it's as smooth, dude, if not smoother, with more performance.
It is. No, you're getting more performance with the smoothness still, which is insane, because that's usually not the case.
It's never the case, dude.
You get more speed, but you're like, that's a little
you
rough on the front end.
Sacrifice, right?
Yeah,
dude, yeah.
Sure.
It's crazy what they did. Like, their cam engineer is incredible.
Yeah. No, it's awesome, man. And it's a great bow. I love that bow. Like, I shot it well. Like I said, I missed the first time, and some people wouldn't talk about that.
Dude, I think that's important, though, for...
It is, dude.
Like people fail to realize that part of hunting. Hunting is hard. Bow hunting is harder.
It's harder. Yep.
And like you talking about, you see everybody with a win, right? Like their highlight reel.
Like I said, if you just watch social media, like if you were to just get on Instagram and
everybody's
on
a
that
killer
guy all day, you're like, dude, these guys are all murderers, dude. And I suck. I've done 2 deer this year. And you're like, yeah, well, you gut punched them because you weren't like something's happening. But man, at the end of the day, I've killed a bunch of animals and I knew what to do. I just got heat of the moment. Camera guy, biggest buck of my life, like all the stuff. But it's still not an excuse. I screwed up, man. And
mistakes
you
happen,
own it,
dude.
and you own it, and you move on, dude. You go.
There's no better way to come back than what you did, though.
For sure, dude. Yeah, even the next hunt too. I was like, dude, in my mind, I was like, that dude ain't coming back, dude. He got shot at, and he's a big old smart buck. And what we did was cool because he basically went to that field and was like, hey, man, we're gonna go to another stand and I'm going to shut this feeder off. So they all got to filter this way. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty smart, dude. That's kind of cool.
Dude, it's so different here how they do this and manage the property and stuff, man. It's unlike anything I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wild that
it's insane. And it's also one of those deals. I've heard all the arguments on corn and baiting and all this stuff, but I'm like, look, man, it's no different. I got a buddy of mine that hunts in Kansas all the time. And he'll specifically, he's got a tree stand on a fence line where there's kind of it's not a pinch point, but there's good trails that come through there. And every year he'll pay the farmer, he'll be like, hey, leave like an eighth of an acre unplowed. And he'll go out there and mark, like, don't leave this batch of corn right here. Well, you're doing the same thing. You're just not cutting the corn. So they go harvest all their fields and do all that stuff. But right out of the bedding area, there's just one little patch of corn.
Perfect. And
they got a little, 20 foot up in a tree. They got their little tree stand.
Yeah.
It's no different to me. In Texas, you're not going to go, and you've probably seen this here, but dude, you're not going to go barreling through the brush to find something.
I didn't realize how thick it is. Like the terrain is gnarly. It's super cool, right?
Yeah.
The terrain is sick, but it is gnarly when it comes to the cactus, the briars, and dude, some of it's so thick. Like I live in eastern North Carolina where you can't walk in.
Yeah,
and like you can't. It's a wall. You're like, I'm not. No, what do I do, dude? This is like that, but dangerous.
Yeah, no. And the other part of it is there's like rattlesnakes in there.
Dude.
Like pigs.
Dude, me and Joey were walking around. We were walking into a spot yesterday. Like I've seen the most massive bucks, like
yeah, dude, this place
pigs,
is insane.
Like axis deer,
for sure.
like everything out here, like every single day, every sit.
sure.
And I'm like, can I shoot this one? They're like, that's not your deer. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, for sure.
But like we were walking through there and just looking at the terrain, man. And I was like, dude, this place in summer has got to be dangerous with rattlesnakes.
No, dude, I promise it is, dude. It's also one of those deals too, man. People will tell you if you're high fence hunting, it's trapped in a cage. So at some point, you can go kill that deer if you really want to. And my argument would be, well, cool, we'll put one animal in here, and you got 9,000 acres, and that's it. Just you and him. You got to kill him, dude. You could hunt for 5 years and never see that thing, dude. They could be on the other side of the ranch. You could be within 50 yards of them, and they're just hunkered down behind a tree watching you walk by, and that's it. I mean, dude, I've seen that happen, dude. And like, it's just one of those deals, man. Every place is different,
dude. There's so many different styles of hunting, and
sure.
I think that's another one of the industry issues, or just like culture issues in general within like archery or hunting in general, everybody thinks that their way is the right way and the only way. Even when it comes to hunting
it goes
tactics,
back to the macho stuff.
It does, dude. It does. It's like, let people just enjoy what they're doing, man.
For sure.
And if somebody wants, like, because there's people out there that pay big money on some of these hunts,
no
dude,
doubt.
Good for them. Good on them.
No doubt.
Have at it, man.
No, and that's one thing I've noticed, like owning my taxidermy business. I'm not saying this is right, but I have people that are buying artwork for their wall. So when they go shoot something, the bonus is they get meat for the freezer. But at the end of the day, they're like, no, I'm paying to hunt a giant axis buck because I got a new house and I want a giant axis buck.
I'd never thought about that.
Yeah, it's like buying art for the wall. I mean, they were like, if you go buy an art piece, you spend $5,000 if you get your painter and you whatever. And they're like, in some essence, it's no different. They're like,
That's crazy. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, I mean,
dude, because I've never taken and mounted anything. Like, I'm the guy that like I love the story behind the animal
for sure
that I killed, but they're all in my garage.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're not fully, they're still
no doubt,
on them.
Yeah, no
and they
doubt.
sit outside and I go back and I look at them. I'm like, man, that was awesome.
Yeah, dude.
But dude, I was watching you and I didn't realize it. You break down that deer, right? And take, and, clean the skull and everything, pull the hide off. And I was like, God, look how efficient he is. I'm like, you want to see someone butcher a damn thing? Let me do it. Bring me over here. Dude, you were so fast and efficient. I was like, dude, how did you, I'll still be out there doing it and it's cut in half.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's just years of experience. And it's funny because people act like it's really cool that I know how to do it. And I'm like, it just means life has sucked for a long time because there's plenty of other things I'd rather be doing than wielding a scalpel blade and doing this on a face of a deer.
Dude,
I'm like,
efficient though, man.
Yeah, when you're
fast.
a taxidermist, you're like, I got 8 of these. I just want to go home and watch the football game on the couch, and now I got to skin these stupid things.
Dude, I was talking to I think my wife about it, and I was like, dude, because I got some friends that in North Carolina that do taxidermy, that's their business, and I was like, I couldn't do this. I don't have the patience to do this and sit down and appreciate, especially if it's not mine.
For sure.
Like I didn't shoot it. I'm doing someone else's.
Sure.
No way.
Yeah, for sure. I got places to be.
I should be hunting right now.
For sure, dude.
That's funny, man. So what's the next big thing for your shop?
Yeah, Archery Country. So, man, honestly, man, for us, the next big thing is we're going to do a big e-com drop. And what that will entail is just shirts and hats and stuff like that, and just make the brand cool. Make it not necessarily like a lifestyle brand, but play into like it's cool to wear, man. Look, Cam Hanes wears it, Joe Rogan wears it, all of your influencer guys wear it. And in essence, be like, it's cool, man. So
you'll see me wearing it in my shop because it's so cool.
Yeah, exactly, man. No, it's crazy how it's already kind of done that. Because, dude, we have legitimately. I will get a text from someone that'll be like, yo, dude, I'm on a ski lift in Vail, and there's a dude wearing an Archery Country hat in front of me. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's crazy. And then you'll get guys from, like, I had one guy, he was like, dude, I'm in Spain right now, and this guy's wearing an Archery Country hat. And you're like, all right, well,
that's so cool, man.
Wicked, dude.
That's cool. I mean, again, I go back to I already said it's got to be such a cool feeling, man.
Yeah, and that's not anything I did. That's Joe Rogan wearing it. And
I mean,
but
dude,
at the end of the day, he wouldn't do it if it wasn't for me.
Yeah, that's right, dude.
Us, it's a little old Archery Country trying to make something cool. But
so you guys got big things happening, man. You got a massive backing.
Yeah.
So
it'll be cool.
I expect to see a lot of stuff in the future, man, because I'll definitely be keeping an eye out.
For sure, man.
And following this stuff because it's neat. It was really cool to meet you, man.
Yeah, dude,
like,
same.
Whenever they told me that you're coming through, I'm like, dang, I know that. I know of that dude.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he's got one of the biggest shops I've ever, that I've heard of from Texas.
Yeah, for sure. No, and it's cool to get to meet other people in our world. Because, dude, I'll tell you right now, I'm a sponge on this stuff. I'm like, dude, if you have something that works, I'm like, well, hit me with it. Because, dude, I have screwed up. I can tell you the flaws.
I do everything the hard way.
So. Yeah, dude, I can tell you all the flaws I've made real fast, dude. But, yeah, it's cool, man. Yeah. So I hope y'all get out and bust a big one here.
Dude, I hopefully so. It's already kind of late. We'll see if we can sneak back out,
y'all
man.
can, dude. Y'all can go right now.
Dude, get after it.
Well, go do it, man.
Tyler, dude, it was awesome to meet you.
Nice to meet you, too.
I'm glad we actually got to meet and link up. I know you're only here for a day or two. You got to head back and drive out, so I won't keep you too long, man. But, wish you nothing but the best, man, moving forward.
Guys, man.
Tell Joe Rogan I said what's up.
Yeah, I'll do it, dude. I'll do it. Heck yeah, man. No, and y'all keep in touch, too.
Yeah,
if y'all need anything from our shop, dude, I'll help if I can, dude, man. We've always got something we can help with or swap.
I think it's important, man. It's important to continue to move forward and grow this thing because I was just talking to Tom, the CEO of PSE, about how it's there's less and less hunters every year and less shops. The shop demographic is just decreasing, and we need quality shops inspiring people to get back into the game or to the archery game.
No, you 100% do.
This is going to be huge with what you're doing with those guys for everybody. And if people don't see it as a positive, they're blind to what's happening.
For sure. Yeah, no, and at the end of the day, Joe Rogan influences elections. I mean, dude, he's huge, dude. It's insane. And I know that will benefit our industry for the better.
Absolutely.
I've said that. So I'm glad to be part of the vessel that's trying to move that forward.
Glad I know you. I'm going to text you. Hey, dude.
Do it. Need a C-mod for a...
Can you help me out with this?
Yeah, dude. No, anytime though, for real, man. I'd love
cool,
that.
man.
But yeah, y'all go get some hunting, dude. I hope y'all go smoke something.
I appreciate that, man. Well, Tyler, again, it's been an absolute pleasure, man. Good luck with everything. And like I said, we'll definitely have to keep in touch.
Yeah, for sure, man. So, heck yeah.
That's it, guys.
Thanks again, man.
Yeah, man. So if you guys are interested, Tyler, Archery Country, massive in Austin, Texas. You're going to hear nothing more. You're going to hear a ton more about this shop as things start to grow. Yeah. There's no doubt, man. But, you know, if you're ever in Austin, Texas, go by, check him out. He's obviously got an e-commerce website coming up here very soon where you can get all their merchandise and then follow them on all their social platforms and drop some comments, give us some feedback if you've ever been there.
Heck
you know, I'm curious, man. It's a destination shop.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like no doubt, it's a destination shop with all the biggest and best celebrities go. So
it's awesome.
Very cool, man. So
thanks again, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it.
That's it, guys. That's another episode of the American Bow Hunter, the official podcast of PSE. Appreciate everybody tuning in, and we will see you guys in the next episode.